Coming up, we give you a behind-the-scenes look of the latest Broadway musical to make its way to Hampshire.
But first, one University of Iowa club is looking to change the game of prosthetics.
I'll show you the thrilling final moments in the women's basketball game against Iowa State last night, and I'll break down the men's Cyhawk matchup in a special courtside edition of DITV Sports.
While it may appear somewhat sunny out, I will tell you how the temperature can feel like much colder. Find out more in weather.
All that and more coming up on this Thursday morning edition of DITV.
Don't go anywhere. DITV starts right now.
Good morning, and thank you for tuning in to this Thursday morning edition of DITV. I'm Samantha Ostwick.
And I'm Susanna Kloster. Last night, I had the chance to attend the Johnson County Legislative Forum. Representatives spoke about the upcoming term and decisions that they would be making. David Jacoby, Bobby Kaufman, Mary Masher, and Amy Nielsen were the 5 legislators that spoke at the Johnson County Legislative Forum hosted by the Daily Iowa Ethics and Politics Initiative and Iowa Watch last night. The goal of this forum was to have an open discussion with the public about upcoming decisions on laws that will pass through the Iowa House and Senate next year. One of the main topics discussed was IPERS, or Iowa Public Employees Retirement System. Earlier in the year, there was speculation that Governor Kim Reynolds may slash Iowa's biggest pension program for public employees. Representative Bobby Kaufman had this to say.
The thought that there ever was a big movement is fabricated, and I will stand behind that unequivocally. I have spoken to all 53 members of my caucus in the House. 0, not 1, not 2, not 5, 0, zilch, nada, none, have any appetite for this whatsoever. One senator filed one really stupid bill 2 years ago that never went anywhere, and that has enveloped into the conspiracy of all conspiracies.
Other topics that were discussed included mental health for young people, more funding for Iowa schools, the fetal heartbeat bill, and tax cuts being implemented to those with larger incomes.
3D Iowa is a new club here at the University of Iowa with plans to drive down costs for prosthetics. Partnered with the national organization Enable, 3D Iowa has raised $3,000 to create prosthetics for children. Their first project is in the works, designing a hand for a 1-year-old in San Antonio, Texas. Co-founder Cody Wilson said, quote, "We're wanting to work with Stead Family Children's Hospital in the future. Because it's in our own backyard, I'd love to work with a kid with our prosthetics to be on the field as kid captain and to be recognized," end quote. 3D Iowa says prosthetics currently run for $15,000, and they believe they can cut down prices to $50.
Well, it certainly was very sunny outside yesterday, but unfortunately, I wasn't outside to enjoy it too much.
Yeah, me neither. Staying inside to study for those finals. Well, let's toss it over to Dylan in the weather studio to hear what we can have the rest of the week.
Thanks, Samantha and Susanna. You guys are definitely right. It was pretty sunny out yesterday, but the temperatures have been pretty cold. However, with the heavy wind we have today and a little bit coming up this weekend, the temperatures that I give here may not be the whole story. Many weather services provide the feels-like temperature that takes into account various factors such as wind speeds, humidity, precipitation, elevation, atmospheric pressure, and solar intensity. This means that this morning's temperature of 23 degrees truly feels like 12 degrees, mainly due to the 12-mile-per-hour winds that we have here in Iowa City. Now, as we move into tonight, we will have a temperature of 18 degrees, but watch out, it may be colder than that. Moving into our extended forecast for the whole week, tomorrow we have a high of 37 degrees with a 10% chance of precipitation, so we'll be pretty good. And our low is 22 as we get into later in the night. Saturday, as I mentioned, those winds kick up. We have partly cloudy skies with 14-mile-per-hour winds. Our high is at 30 degrees, and our low is in the high teens that day, so Saturday is going to be a chilly one. Sunday, we have cloudy skies with a high in the mid-30s and a low similar to Saturday's in the high teens. Monday, the sunny skies return with a high of 34 degrees and a low in the low 20s. Finally, Tuesday, we have partly cloudy skies with a bit hotter high in the high 30s and a low in the upper 20s. Well, as you can see, we look like we're in for a pretty good week weather-wise. No snow, no rain, and other than on Saturday, not much intense winds. So just be sure to be on the lookout for any winds that come, and make sure to stay warm out there amidst the cold during finals week. Guys at the desk, back to you.
Almost a quarter of U.S. college students have opted to take an extra test that could save their lives. University of Iowa student government Senator Jack Fang is taking charge to make sure HIV testing is more accessible for all Hawkeyes. The UI LGBTQ Resource Center in Johnson County Public Health partnered with UISG to offer free HIV testing. As it stands, HIV testing at the university is administered by the Student Health and Wellness, and with insurance can cost about $30. Fang hopes through additional education, the stigma of HIV testing can be removed, and wants to offer more free testing throughout the campus.
While it might be easy to miss, the University of Iowa has a ride-sharing program with a leg up on Uber and Lyft. University staff members have been enjoying the UI van pool, now in its 14th year of operation. Faculty and staff who live close to another and have similar schedules can pay $60 a month to hitch a ride in a university-owned van's truck. April Wells of the UI Parking, Transportation and Department said, quote, "Designated drivers undergo a training after which they have allowed to drive," end quote. And the incentive to drive is pretty okay. Drivers enjoy free fare the day they're behind the wheel. Students, however, won't be able hopping on this anytime soon, as the service is limited to people on the university payroll.
The musical phenomenon Les Miserables has come to Hancher Auditorium this week. DITV arts and culture reporter Kaylin Cluck went on a backstage tour with the production during their Tuesday load-in. Follow along as she gets an inside look on the Broadway magic.
Hi guys, today we are looking behind the scenes at Hancher Auditorium as they set up for one of the most beloved musicals in history, Les Miserables. Take a look.
The music and story of Les Miserables have kept it a theatrical favorite for decades. But before audiences could come see the Broadway tour at Hancher this week, the production required a 16-hour load-in. It takes 11 semi-trucks to haul the massive set from theater to theater across the country. But production stage manager Jack McLeod said the spaciousness of Hancher made for the perfect setup.
Right down here. We had come from a bunch of theaters that were really tight and small, and we got here and we opened the loading dock doors, and it was like heaven.
We went backstage, a wonderland where the scenery of 1800s France floats together with 21st century tech. Much of the set is run by computers and motors, including multiple 4-story buildings on the stage.
They'll glide right into place. They'll move on an upbeat, and they'll close that down right as the last note is finished. On the floor right here, you can see one of the tracks. This track can actually bring the set on and off the stage.
The tour does 8 shows a week, and they're quickly approaching their 500th show this cycle. Behind the scenes, McLeod has to make sure audiences are seeing the same show every time. It takes 6 hours just to focus the lights beforehand, understandably.
There are 448 lighting cues in the show. It's incredibly specific, just to put the focus exactly where it needs to be when this person's going to sing, when that person's going to sing, so that the audience knows exactly where to look at all times. It's very subtle.
Also backstage, a multitude of props, as well as 2 60-gallon tanks that pump fog all over the set. But then there's the costumes, which are detailed right down to every dirt stain.
So once we clear out of this area, they're going to roll in all the costumes with chairs and baskets, and that's going to live here. We call this Gondola Village. This is the star dressing room here from Belfort.
Not to mention the upwards of 80 wigs the hair team has to manage.
It's almost $750,000 worth of wigs that we carry. With all the supplies, it's probably over $1 million.
The show is only at Hancher through Sunday, but the tour has a long way to go after that.
The cast is rested, so we make sure that they are incredibly rested with their voices. The crew, we never rest. We'll rest when the tour's over in 4 years.
But for 8 glorious performances, Les Miserables belongs to Iowa City. Reporting from Hancher Auditorium, this is Kaylin Cluck, DITV.
That looks to be amazing. Hampshire and Kaylin, as always, is wonderful. But looking over into sports, we have a show filled with basketball.
Yeah, I heard the Cyclones are here on campus, and that's always super exciting. Let's toss it over to Lucy to hear more.
Welcome to the DITV Sports Courtside Show. I am your host, Lucy Rodine, and you guys said it, it is Cyhawk Week. And tonight, the Iowa men's basketball team will take on in-state rival Iowa State in Carver. But last night, the women's team took on the Clones in Carver as well. Kathleen Doyle returned to the court with a 22-point performance to lead all scorers, even though she only had 1 day of practice to prepare. But senior Tanaya Davis stole the show as she splashed home this ice-cold step-back game-winning three to give Iowa the 73-70 win over the Cyclones.
You know, I told Tanaya that's a shot she's going to remember for the rest of her life. You know, I'm so happy for her. What she's been through, for her to have the opportunity to have a game winner in her senior year, and especially against Iowa State, it's pretty awesome.
I mean, wow, what an amazing finish. And Tanaya's battled so many injuries, so this is just a great game for the Hawks. But switching gears, the men's team is wrapping up a brutal stretch in their schedule where 6 out of their last 7 games have been against Power 5 opponents, including a 22-point road loss to Michigan State on Monday.
It's one of those games that carries more weight than a lot of games. You know, no matter what kind of season you have, a lot of people look to this game on who won or lost, honestly. And it's definitely one of those games. Obviously, we're trying to take it one game at a time still, just trying to have the most important game the next game in the schedule. So, but knowing this Iowa State, it means a lot more to us.
Iowa State's always a game you look forward to, always a game you circle on your calendar. So, you know, I think it's personal for me, but I think it's personal for everybody.
You know, definitely excited. Mostly excited just to play, you know, in the environment. You know, I've seen these games, you know, for so long, and just having this type of crowd that's going to be in here tomorrow night, you know, it's going to be live, and I'm really excited for that.
You know, since I was a little kid, I've been growing up, you know, watching Iowa play Iowa State in every sport. You know, football, basketball, wrestling, it doesn't really matter. So, I mean, it's exciting. I'm excited.
Well, you guys heard it there. The team is so excited to face Iowa State tonight. The Cyclones are 7-1 on the season, but when it comes to this game, records, statistics, rankings, none of that matters because it's a rivalry game. But unfortunately for Iowa, they've been kind of a downstretch lately. They lost their home opener, Big Ten home opener against Wisconsin on Friday in a close one, and then got blown out on the road at Michigan State. But the schedule, it's just going to keep getting tougher for the Hawkeyes because Iowa State will be in town tonight. The Cyclones, like I said earlier, they're 7-1, and they're actually getting a couple players back this season because they've had a couple injuries and suspensions, and they came back in their opening game on Monday, but they'll be in Carver tonight. The game is going to be loud. It's going to be electric. As of yesterday, there were only 1,600 tickets available left for this game. So if you haven't made your trip to Carver yet to get your seats for tonight, you better go fast because it's the Cyhawk game. It's going to be loud, it's going to be rowdy, and these players are excited to play tonight. But unfortunately for Iowa, the Joe Wieskamp's status is questionable. At Michigan State on Monday, Wieskamp went down with an ankle injury. Fran said it's not a break, but it is a sprain, and so he's a game-time decision. He didn't practice at all yesterday, but if he plays tonight, Nicholas Baer will start for him. But I think Iowa's going to win this one tonight. Even though they're on kind of a rough patch right now, I don't see the Hawks losing 3 games in a row. So, guys, back to you at the desk.
And thank you for tuning in to the Thursday morning edition of DITV. Be sure to head over to dailyiowan.com for all your latest news.
If that is enough of the Daily Iowan for you, be sure to check out our print edition on stands now.
For DITV, I'm Susanna Kloster.
And I'm Samantha Ostwick. Have a great day, Iowa City.